In Gaza, the suffering deepens with every passing hour. While the world watches from afar and courts debate the legality of a war that has already cost thousands of lives. At least 59 Palestinians were killed on Thursday alone, according to local health officials, nearly half of them in Jabalia, a northern area that has endured relentless bombardment since Israel's war on Gaza began in October 2023. The streets are lined with rubble. The air is thick with dust and the sounds of drones overhead. Children cry not just from fear, but from hunger. Dr. Khalil Al-Dakran, medical director at Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital, issued a dire warning. Gaza has entered the 5th stage of malnutrition, the most critical level recognized by the World Health Organization. Our people are starving, he told Mufa, blaming the devastating blockade that has choked the strip for months. Hospitals, once the last refuge for the wounded and sick, are collapsing. The Ministry of Health announced that 37 of 38 hospitals in Gaza are now non-functional. The most recent to fall silent is the Mohammed Al-Dur Children's Hospital in eastern Gaza City, a place that once cared for the youngest victims of war, now a symbol of what has been lost. And yet, in The Hague, the International Criminal Court has become a battleground of a different kind. Israel claimed a minor legal victory on Thursday after judges ordered a lower panel to review its objections to the court's jurisdiction. Still, the arrest warrants against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant remain active. A rare moment of international accountability, however uncertain. From Gaza, those warrants are not absurd. As Netanyahu's aides called them, they are a glimmer of recognition, a message that the world has not completely turned its back. The injustice, Gazans say, is not the court's decision. The injustice is what we live through every single day. Meanwhile, in the occupied West Bank, settlers torch Palestinian homes and farmland in Sinjar, near Ramallah. Another chapter in a decades-long story of displacement and erasure. Even abroad, Palestinians and their supporters find themselves under suspicion. In New York, new NYPD training now flags the keffiyeh, watermelon symbols, and phrases like "all eyes on Rafah" as potential signs of anti-Semitism. Symbols that in Gaza are worn by the grieving, the defiant, and the hopeful alike. From inside the besieged strip, the message is clear. This is not a political game. This is survival. And the world's delay in justice is measured here not in court dates, but in lives lost. In Gaza, where the hum of drones never fades and the air still smells of ash and grief, news from international courts and foreign governments rarely feels like justice, but sometimes it feels like the world is listening. On Thursday, the International Criminal Court, ICC, took a step back in its pursuit of accountability for the devastation in Gaza. Appeals judges ordered a lower panel to revisit Israel's challenge to the court's jurisdiction, an objection raised against arrest warrants issued last year for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Both face accusations of war crimes and crimes against humanity for their role in Israel's brutal campaign on Gaza. To people here, the court's decision doesn't change what they've lived through. It doesn't rebuild homes, reopen destroyed hospitals, or bring back the children buried in rubble. But it does send a signal the powerful might still be held accountable even if justice is slow. The ICC's pretrial chamber had initially dismissed Israel's objections as premature. But now, the appeals chamber says that dismissal was an error of law and that Israel's right to challenge jurisdiction wasn't adequately considered. The matter is being sent back for further review. For many in Gaza, it feels like another delay in a world already too late. But far from the smoke of Gaza, a decision in Spain lit a different kind of signal. The Spanish government canceled a $7.8 million contract with Israeli weapons manufacturer IMI Systems after public and political outcry over the arms deal. A member of Spain's ruling coalition, Sumar, called the purchase a blatant violation of the arms ban enacted after the start of Israel's war on Gaza on October 7, 2023. Despite legal advice warning the government that backing out could carry financial costs, Spain chose to end the deal unilaterally, saying it had exhausted all negotiation avenues. Deputy Prime Minister Yolanda Diaz and Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez aligned with the move, citing general interest as justification. In Gaza, that decision resonates. It's a reminder that solidarity can come in more than words, that sometimes justice speaks through canceled contracts and refused bullets. Here, beneath shattered ceilings and in overcrowded shelters, these stories matter. Not because they stop the bombs or heal the wounds, but because they remind Palestinians that the world is watching and that someone is choosing conscience over complicity.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the videos.